Hi everyone, welcome back. Nicole here with Edge of Wild. I am working on cutting up our potatoes for the year. I plan to put them in the garden tomorrow. Tomorrow will be April 30th, so pretty much May 1st. It'll take them two and a half weeks before they put on enough growth to come up above the soil level, and that way they should be past any possibility of having a frost hit them. If we have a really late frost, it might hurt them, but at that point the plant will probably just send up new growth points. I'm unconcerned about that. It definitely is time to put potatoes in the ground for us. So I'm going to show you how I cut up the potato, what I'm looking at. You can buy seed potatoes at a local greenhouse. A lot of them carry, like the one I went to carried like 9 or 10 different varieties. I got 4 or 5 to try, even though I said I don't need that many potatoes. Here I am. And then I'm gonna grow some of my own potatoes that are left over and have started to sprout. So I am going to get all those cut up. I'll walk through what all of those are tomorrow before I get them planted, or once I have them planted, one of the two. But right now, we're just gonna go over how to cut them. Okay, so here's one of my Eva seed potatoes. This is one that I'm growing from last year's. So you can see I have a growth point there and a growth point there. What I'm going to do is cut right down the center. That way each side has its own growth point. And then I'm going to set that cut side up so that it can heal over. The Evas I have found don't have a ton of growth points on them. Like this one has 2 very small ones. There we go. So we're just going to cut those, set them aside. This one, same thing. So like there's a really tiny one there. That's a decent growth point. And then a small one there. So I'm probably still gonna just cut this in half. Voila, so I have that tiny one. And then the big one and the tiny one. What you really wanna be careful of is don't cut off any of them that have sprouted like a really long distance. Don't cut off any of that, or don't knock that off, because that is the growth point of the potato, and if that gets broken off, it's not going to grow. Simple as that. This one has 2, so we'll cut that in half. So that one, there are 2 little growth points on this one, and then that big one and a couple little growth points there. Okay, so I'm just gonna go through and cut all of them. Okay, potatoes are all sliced up. So I have a small pile of Evas here that didn't fit in the box. I have this variety that I have, Katahdin. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce that. That's one that my mom tried last year and really liked. These next ones are Superiors. I have Lehigh, which is a golden or a yellow potato. I have Adirondack Blue, Adirondack Red. I've always heard they're not very prolific potatoes. They don't make a lot and they don't store well, but they're cool colors, so I wanted to try them. And then I have my own Evas back here in the back of this box. So everything is cut up. Everything's just going to lay out on the counter as it is tonight and heal over because I don't want to put the wet, fresh cuts in the dirt. They'll be healed over by morning and be ready to go by midday tomorrow when I decide to trek back out into the wind and get them planted, because it's time to plant them even though it's windy and I don't like the wind. Okay, see you in the next part. Okay, before I get too far into the wind and we can't see, these are what my healed over potatoes look like this morning. So I'm going to go out and put them in the garden. It's really windy, so I'm probably not going to talk out there because it's just going to sound chaotic. My husband is nicely raking up the garden rows for me on the other side. We're measuring those out with string line. And that'll be another video where I kind of show some of the setup. So I worked up the ground, got everything soft and loose. Then I made a couple little like hole indentations that I could put my potatoes in. I did find it easier, better, more preferred to do the trenching type method that I do towards the end of the video or towards the end of the planting part. I just find it works a lot better. So that would be my recommendation. Here they all are in the ground. So I did Evas, then the Lehighs, which are the yellows. Then the next section should be the blue, the Adirondack Blue. Then I have the Superiors, Adirondack Red, and then I'm going to call them the cat potatoes because I don't know how to say them, so I'm going to call them cat. All on the ground. And then just so you see, the growth points are all pointed up. And then we're going to cover them over. So they're probably being covered, depending on depth, 2 to 4 inches deep. As that growth point comes up, I will hill them. I have not figured out. I'm thinking about trying hilling them with straw this year. Jess over at Roots and Refuge does that, and she swears it makes them so much easier to dig. So we're going to see if I can get my hands on some straw bales, get everything covered up. With the garden beds being wider, I have to work from both sides. I mean, that's the point, but I'm so used to working from one side or working 2 rows at the same time. Okay, now I'm going to go over the varieties of potatoes that I put in the ground. It's like a day and a half later. No, day later. Either way, I wrote down them because otherwise I'll forget. And then I have them listed in order that I planted them from the house to the middle of the garden. So, Katahdin, which I looked up how to say it, it's a cat potato. Those were originally from like 1932. They're high yielding white flesh potato. They're very highly adaptive and they have a great storage. Adirondack Red are an oblong flattened tube that have a pink inside, and that's because they're high in, what is the word? Anthocyanins, high in antioxidants. So they're really good. Great for roasting. That holds that color pretty well. I'm excited to try them just for their color. They're more of a conversation piece than anything else. Superior potatoes, those are from 1961 and kind of have like the same genetics as like your Kenbeck and kind of your older variety potatoes or your really common ones. They're a white flesh, early maturing, high yielding potato. Adirondack Blue are the next ones, also an oblong, more of a flattened tuber that have the blue inside, high in the anthocyanins and the antioxidants. They're really good for reducing swelling, things like that would be everything that's kind of built into those potatoes. Now, will eating those potatoes make your swelling go down? No, but there's something that can help with just kind of some of the things to give your body the ability to fight that off. Again, for me, it's more of a conversation piece. The Lehigh, those are a golden flesh potato, also highly adaptive, kind of out of the Pennsylvania area. They're named after the Lehigh Valley in Pennsylvania. And then the last ones that I put in are my Evas. I grew all those last year. And I really, really like them. The skin on them is really nice. They store awesome. Like, I actually pulled the ones that had sprouted out of the fridge, but I still have a whole bunch left that have not sprouted, just because they have such great storage. They're part of the Cornell breeding program, and they have more of like a round, oval-shaped tuber. They don't get huge, but I would say they're a good medium to medium-large size potato. So I'm excited to see how everything comes out of the ground. I have my fingers crossed because in the last 24 hours we've had almost 2 inches of rain. The wind still hasn't stopped, but I think that's supposed to stop tomorrow, so maybe. But hopefully they don't get totally drowned out. I guess I don't have to worry about having to water anything for a while. Thanks for coming along. I hope you're able to get your potatoes in the ground. I hope you try some cool conversation pieces. And I hope this has been a little bit of an inspiration and maybe a little bit of knowledge for you. See you in the next one.